My point is that with the current situation, perhaps in 20 years or 30 years, a different situation may exist, and we are not dealing with that. In the current situation, negotiating with the American government, firstly, does not help our national interests. It does not benefit us in any way, and it will not ward off any harm from us. We did not yield, and we will not yield. We did not yield to pressure in this matter, and we will not yield to pressure in this matter or any other. This great achievement, enrichment of uranium, that our country has strived for, spent so much on, and overcome so many difficulties for, to dismiss all this effort, all the product of these endeavors, smoke it, and obliterate it, that's what not having enrichment means. It's obvious that a proud nation like the Iranian nation would have this statement uttered in its mouth, and would not accept this statement. Negotiating with the U.S. under the current circumstances carries significant losses for the country, some of which could be said to be irreparable. Such damages it will have. Behind the negotiating table with the U.S., and the result of the talks we will have with them being that whatever he says must be done, that is no longer negotiation, that is dictation, that is imposition. The other side, though he might say, I give you such and such concession for this thing, is lying. What they say we give as concessions are lies. Today, they say if you have enrichment, we will do this and that. Tomorrow they say if you have missiles, we will do this and that. And then they say, if you don't have relations with such and such country, we will do this and that. If you have relations with such and such country, we will do this and that. We are constantly threatened and forced to retreat from the threats of the enemy. That is, no honorable nation would engage in negotiations accompanied by threats, and no wise politician would approve of it. If they have the opportunity, they will assassinate people, just as they assassinated our martyr General Soleimani. If they can, they will do such things, or they will bomb nuclear facilities. He is in such a situation. You cannot negotiate with this person. You cannot sit and talk and listen and make arrangements with confidence and trust. In my opinion, negotiating with the U.S. regarding the nuclear issue, and perhaps other issues, is a complete dead end. There is no right way. For him, of course, this negotiation is beneficial. For the current U.S. president, it's beneficial. He will raise his head and say, I threatened Iran, I brought them and I seated them to the negotiating table. He will boast about this in the world. But for us, it's purely detrimental and has no benefit for us at all.
To see whether the UN can manage to play a productive role. I've come here today to offer the hand of American leadership and friendship to any nation in this assembly that is willing to join us in forging a safer, more prosperous world. And it's a world that we'll be much happier with. A dramatically better future is within our reach. But to get there, we must reject the failed approaches of the past and work together to confront some of the greatest threats in history. There is no more serious danger to our planet today than the most powerful and destructive weapons ever devised by man, of which the United States, as you know, has many. Just as I did in my first term, I've made containing these threats a top priority, starting with the nation of Iran. My position is very simple. The world's number one sponsor of terror can never be allowed to possess the most dangerous weapon. That's why, shortly after taking office, I sent the so-called Supreme Leader a letter making a generous offer. I extended a pledge of full cooperation in exchange for a suspension of Iran's nuclear program. The regime's answer was to continue their constant threats to their neighbors and U.S. interests throughout the region and some great countries that are right nearby. Today, many of Iran's former military commanders, in fact, I can say almost all of them, are no longer with us. They're dead. And 3 months ago, in Operation Midnight Hammer, 7 American B-2 bombers dropped the 14 30,000-pound each bombs on Iran's key nuclear facilities, totally obliterating everything. No other country on earth could have done what we did. No other country has the equipment to do what we did. We have the greatest weapons on earth. We hate to use them. But we did something that for 22 years people wanted to do. With Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity demolished, I immediately brokered an end to the 12-day war, as it's called, between Israel and Iran, with both sides agreeing to fight no longer. As everyone knows, I have also been deeply engaged in seeking a ceasefire in Gaza. Have to get that done. Have to get it done. Unfortunately, Hamas has repeatedly rejected reasonable offers to make peace. We can't forget October 7th, can we? Now, as if to encourage continued conflict, some of this body is seeking to unilaterally recognize a Palestinian state. The rewards would be too great for Hamas terrorists for their atrocities. This would be a reward for these horrible atrocities. But instead of giving in to Hamas's ransom demands, those who want peace should be united with one message: release the hostages now. Just release the hostages now. Thank you. We have to negotiate. Immediately have to negotiate peace. We got to get the hostages back. We want all 20 back. We don't want 2 and 4. As you know, I got, along with Steve Witkoff and others that helped us, Marco Rubio, we got most of them back. We were involved in all of them. But I always said the last 20 are going to be the hardest, and that's exactly what happened. We have to get them back now. We don't want to get back 2, and then another 2, and then 1, and then 3. Have this process. No, we want them all back, and we want the actually 38 dead bodies back too. Those parents came to me and they want them back, and they want them back very quickly and very badly. As though they were alive, they want them. They want them every bit as much as if their son